Welcome to Store Setup. Today is going to be a little more specific of a video. I want to go over how I made a couple different eBay stores, one for each category that I'm selling in. My main store was getting way too big, and in order to scale and refine the processes, I really need to separate it into categories. And if I was going to do that, it would be a lot easier to keep track of costs, of profit, of average sell price, sell-through rate, all of those things. It's very hard to track those on one store altogether. It is a lot easier to scale and a lot easier to track all of those things if those stores are separate. Now, I'm not necessarily recommending that's what you do. This is honestly an experiment for me. I'm just trying this out, and so I kind of spent all weekend figuring this out. I am in Inkfrog here, and I just wanted to show you guys real quick what I've been doing so you could see all your live listing across all your accounts. So right now I'm just refining so basically I went to filter, select filter, eBay account. These are the 5 different accounts I have so far. This was my main one, so I want to it's gonna refresh it. Okay, it's not. Okay, good, because I want to keep the page I'm on. So I'm going through and I'm taking out, I already took out most or all of the cards. I may have missed a couple. There's a couple thousand items I've been going through, but right now I'm removing the media, and I wanted to add that media back into a different store. So I'm looking through my main store, and I'm going to remove, let's just check off a couple. I'm literally going through one by one. I went through that part, so let's just, I would basically check off everything I'm going to be putting in my other stores. I'm just doing the media right now. I don't want to delist everything. So here's some cards I missed. So I'm just doing media and cards right now. I did the cards first, and I apparently missed some when I went to go through the media. So anyway, I've been going through checking off everything, and I'll stop there for now. But you go to end early. So I end all my listings before I'm going to list them on another account. You could list it and then end it, but I don't want to. I know that there is penalties, or they won't even show your listing if it's a duplicate listing, or they won't even allow you to list it. But I'm sure if you have this multiple accounts on your same IP address, and eBay knows that it's the same IP address, same address, you opened up a new account with a different email but the same phone number, right? If you're listing the same listing on both accounts, I'm pretty sure that is a big no-no. You don't want to do that. It's just as if you're listing the same listing on your same account. So don't do that. So I like to end the listings first before going through here. So I'll go to the unsolds, which they come up top here. So I'm just going to select a couple here that I just want to reprice them first. So I'll go to, because I'm switching back from flat prices back to, let's say, like $39.99. I'm lowering the prices a little bit as well. I want to move a lot of product, and I used to do like or I still do flat like 3. I used to charge for shipping. I want to go back to free shipping. So basically, if I go from $15, I know that I'm most likely the shipping on here is $3, so I'm going to go down to $14.99. I just want to, and yes, I do sell some cards for 99 cents. It is profitable. A lot of people buy, I just had one order like less than an hour ago for 2 99-cent cards. I'll probably make $1 and change off of it, but it's very easy to list and add into the process. And then if all I did was 99-cent cards, it probably wouldn't be worth it, but I do throw them in the mix, and I'm still deciding whether or not I want to do that. I had these listed from a long time ago from I cracked boxes, like booster boxes, when the set first came out. So this was from that. I was listing the whole entire set. That's why I have a lot of 99-cent cards. I usually don't do that. I'm usually stick to $1.99 or $2.99 at the lowest and up from there. And that seems to be much more worth it. And I do get multiple orders from that as well. So I'll go over all specifically into Pokemon cards for those that are interested in a whole series I'm going to do about it. It's still in the works now. It's in the planning stage. I have, I think, all the sections that I want to do, and I'm going to do that for Pokemon cards, and also I want to do that for a couple other categories as well. So I'm going to dive deep into each category I sell in. First is going to be the Pokemon cards in a series, so I'm not really going to touch too much on it for those that really aren't that interested. So this one, so basically I'm just discounting these a little bit too, taking a few dollars off. So I'm going to save the prices, I'm going to go back to unsold, and then I'm just going to select these here, the ones I updated. I think it was it this too? Anyway, I think it was. So anyway, I'm going to go bulk, I'm going to list selected, and what that does, one thing I will note is that if you selected this whole list and wanted to add it, it would actually take almost 30 seconds to a minute to load this screen up. So I recommend having other screens open and doing multiple tasks at one time, because in Inkfrog it does, I have never had it glitch out once, but it does take a while to load. So just keep that in mind when you're doing 50 and 100 at a time. Every time you end the listings and every time you launch the listings, it just takes time each step. So the only one I'm going to add to this is my card store, and then this is my media store. Usually I'll just do it all at once, but I'm just showing you guys that. So now I'm going to launch the listings. I'm going to submit, launch immediately, and as soon as see how it's like yeah, see how it takes a second? So those should be listed, and yeah, so that's basically how I'm transferring listings from one account to another. And let me tell you something, I was researching for quite a while. I did not find a way to download products into an Excel spreadsheet, live listings that would take the photos and the titles and the shipping policies and everything. So the cool thing about this is if it has all of the same, it doesn't necessarily transfer the same shipping policy, but if you have all of the same, if you import, so if in Inkfrog it has all the same information and your account is signed up for business policies, when you import them, it will put them all in the same policy. It might not add it to an existing one. I haven't tried that one out yet, but I know, like, let's say you upload or transfer 200 listings all with the same shipping and return policies. They will all go into one new policy, and it'll just be some random name, and you'll just have to go in and change that name and edit it from there. But it does transfer that over. It does not make a new policy for each one. It does not screw that up. So I'm actually happy about that. So yeah, this honestly has saved me so much time, and yes, I'm putting a lot of work into this. I believe my sales have already risen, and I believe that this is going to be a great thing, not necessarily to increase sales, but to scale, right? It's for internal purposes only. This is why I'm doing this, is why I'm experimenting it, so I can focus on one category at a time and grow and scale that particular category. And then so I can have a process for listing DVDs, and then it'll force me also to, let me see if I can give you guys a preview of, yeah, let me give you a preview here. This is basically a preview of the file exchange sheet that I use for listing Pokemon cards. And so I have a script that adds the URL based on a place where I upload it. I'm going to share all that later on. If you are familiar with using Excel at all, this is not very hard to learn. It is a bit of a learning curve, but once you set it up once, and once I show you through this, now the key is to have everything in the same category, so you don't have to change this. So you have to be listing in batches, everything in the same category, and the other thing is having everything the same price, right? So it would be beneficial. I know I have a couple different prices here. I'm just doing something different, but it's better if I sorted them beforehand for everything that's $2.99 or $3.99 or $10.99, right? Or if you have clothing, everything's $19.99 and in the same category. It would be best to batch all that together, so then you put the category, put the price, and all you have to do is type out the titles. Here's your condition description, the description, which for me is the same for everything in cards. And then if you need to change the quantity, and everything else is already set up. So I have the script that automatically pulls in the photos here. It's actually in another sheet over here that I will get to that, but that I change a couple things in there. It gives me the list. I copy and paste it here, and then it comes over here. Anyway, this is kind of a preview, so this is what I want to do for every category, not just cards. I'm able to use this to list if everything's sorted beforehand, and I do have, and that is including me scanning all of these and uploading them. So scanning obviously is a lot quicker than taking pictures. So let's say instead of listing, because I can list it between 100 and 150 per hour doing this from scratch, as long as they're sorted beforehand, I don't have to look up the prices. So I'm assuming, let's say you had things sorted beforehand and you were taking photos, which takes a little longer. I'm guessing you could still do at least 40 to 50 an hour, right? You take the photos. Let's say you take photos for a half hour and you type out, and you type out for a half hour. Can you type, and that's the thing, like, you know, with measurements, that's why I like men's clothing. I really don't do too many measurements. So I know with women's clothing, you got to do that more. So I really don't know how it's going to pan out in every single category, but I know for DVDs, it's going to be super simple. Flat price, 2 images per each one. Oh, and that's another thing, you have to have the same amount of images. Anyway, this is what I wanted to get for every category, and it'll also help us list a lot faster in all these. Anyway, those are just some of my thoughts, but I really want to scale. I want to do more with less time, and I want to use, I do have some really great employees / team members. I'm very happy with the guys I have. But in order to overcome a couple obstacles we've kind of run into, we've hit these barriers, and the way we do everything has to change a little bit, and this is part of that. I really think, and if this doesn't work, you know what, at the end of the day, I made a YouTube video, I educated you guys, I learned for myself how to do all this. I've never even touched Inkfrog until I was trying to do this, so I know Inkfrog now. So I've learned so much. So at the end of the day, I lost a weekend, but I learned so much. So it's really not that much of a loss, and I can easily come back, delete everything from the other stores, transfer it back. You know, it would take probably maybe a couple hours, because what I'm doing here is actually going through and like picking them one by one. If I just highlighted them all and removed them, didn't even change the price, uploaded to another store, it would take a lot quicker. But right now I'm actually selecting only certain ones. I'm also changing prices and then uploading them, so that's why it's taken a little longer. But I kind of like to go through my inventory a lot. Another thing I will show you guys is, this is how we used to list, or we still kind of do. So this is our spreadsheet that our VA uses to list, and the lister fills this spreadsheet out. We don't list directly on eBay. So here's the image number. So basically, when we take photos, we upload it to Dropbox, and we put the number of photos here. So it could be different for each one. Then we put a title, custom SKU, condition, description, weight, domestic mail, international mail, what the price is, do we offer a best offer or not, and then once it's ready, the lister always puts don't list here, and then once it's ready to list, I will remove the don't list from that. If there's dimensions, we put it here for calculated shipping, or even for flat, that's a little larger, and we don't want to get messed up with the calculated international. If we need to use a different PayPal, and then when it's listed, the VA puts the link here to the actual listing if we need to edit anything. So it's pretty cool. We've been using this for a while, but the issue is look, we're starting to, I want to list like a lot of lower priced items fast. And in order to do that, I really need to split up the stores and come up with things we can. And here you can't. We do copy and paste a lot, but it's still from here. You still have to go and upload it to eBay, right? So there's still somebody going through one by one, right? And they need access directly to my eBay account, which is good. I had this VA for years, and I trust her, but I'm not so sure I want to do that with another one. That's why I like Inkfrog. So maybe I should go and get another VA to help me list via Inkfrog. I could do that. There's a lot of things to consider here. This sheet helps us a lot because we can all collaborate before anything even goes live. So if I have notes to tell, we usually put 2 dots, and then I'll type something out that I want changed or explain, so that this is the way we communicate with the lister, and so that it stays don't list. But then next time he reviews, if he sees 2 dots here, he clicks in and it'll be like a long explanation. This title needs this keyword, you forgot this word, you spelled this wrong, the weight's off, so on and so forth. So yeah, it works really well. I really like this sheet, and it's treated us well for years, and we've been but I think it may reach the end, and I may take over with file exchange and batching, because you can list so much faster and more efficiently, and it'll force me to stick to categories and to refine my sourcing so that I can get more of the same type of item, and also list a lot more efficiently. Because right now we are listing random things. Here's a book, here's a toy, here's a video game, here's another toy, and so on and so forth. We just kind of take pictures of random stuff and then put them wherever, and then the lister goes in, and even it's taking the lister a longer time. But what if we on this sheet we have hundreds of things to list right now, right? And it's getting backed up. The one lister we have, not the lister, the person the VA listing directly to eBay, is getting backed up, and so it's just not. And the lister is also getting confused, because not confused, but it's very hard to say. Oh, let's say toys had a specific way of getting titled, or even video games or something. It's very hard to keep that in mind for every. You have to know a lot to be able to jump from one category to the next, to the next, to the next. And same thing with shipping. Like, to keep things and processes clean and to not make mistakes, if we listed all in the same category, all DVDs or all clothing, for instance, if we did clothing, we do all our jeans. Let's say we had 20 pairs of jeans, boom, 20 pairs of jeans, we can get that done in a half hour, right? I could take pictures for 15-20 minutes, and then 10 or 15 minutes I could just crack out the titles, and based off the photos, pop the photos here, upload the flat pricing. Or even if I had to research the price, let's say the 20 jeans took me 45 minutes because I had to look up some prices. Still, you just listed 20 items using this in 45 minutes, and maybe you can do even 30 per hour. That's 1 every 2 or 3 minutes. So 2 minutes really. So I really like Inkfrog. For if you didn't check out that video, check that out. And this is kind of a random video, but I'm just showing you guys my thought process, how we list now, how I want to list in the future, how I'm using Inkfrog to separate stores. You guys can even check out the stores. Here they all are. Some of them, like some of these, don't have any listings yet. For instance, For Your House and Tailored Threads don't have any. Oh gosh, don't have any yet. Media Function, CP Limit, and Game Elements do. Game Elements is my main store. So anyway, I don't want to bring too much attention to that. If you guys want to check it out, you can. And I'm not, we have a good sell-through rate, but sometimes we speed through listings, and sometimes I don't review certain things, or titles aren't optimized, or prices are wrong, and that's why some things just don't sell. So I really that's why I'm going through, and once everything's in its own separate store, then it'll be a lot easier for me to clean up all the listings, because right now it's very hard. If I wanted to clean all the t-shirts, it would be hard. I mean, I guess I could type in t-shirt, but look, this doesn't have a hyphen and this does, and then maybe there's one listing where it's together with no space, and so it would be very hard for me to pull up all the t-shirts just by typing in t-shirt, because I might miss a bunch. And so it's like really annoying. And then some may have flat shipping, and then some may be, you know, free shipping, and because we've changed halfway through, some may have the brand first, some may have t-shirt first, or in a different order. But if I had one store where it was all just clothing, it would be so much easier to edit everything. It would be great for promoted listings as well, to kind of do, not promoted listings, promotions, buy one get one 20% off or 30% off or whatever. And for the store now, my main store, the issue is I could do it, but the only way I can separate which categories and stuff is based on price. And so some things weigh more than others. Some categories really don't mesh well with one another. So based off price, I'm very limited. But if I had a store that was only clothing, and I knew I could fit 3 t-shirts in one, you know, and ship it, you know, no matter what size t-shirt or whatever, and at the most pay just a flat rate envelope, that would be great. But if I did 3 first class items that were almost first class, that were in the same price range, I would get screwed. So it's really hard to kind of do promotions in a store where you're selling everything. It was getting challenging, and I had one promotion which was working great, buy one get one 15% off. We've had many multiple orders. But yeah, so that's pretty much it, guys. I just wanted to give you a rundown and of what I've been doing this weekend. I hope in some way you've gleaned something, but I just wanted to give you guys an inside look. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and